Okay, welcome to episode number 2 of the Commute. Still driving into work, constantly driving. I said when I got this job that the drive wouldn't be a problem because the place I work at is so awesome, and the place I work at is so awesome, and I am 100% happy and content working there. But the drive's getting a bit much. This is ridiculous. It's a good thing I'm a fan of podcasts and audiobooks and stuff, because if I just listened to the radio, I probably would go insane. The way I shoot this means that there's a slight little delay, so I can't do things that are necessarily 100% up-to-date current affairs type stuff. But I have to mention the passing of David Bowie. I've never really been a huge Bowie fan. I've known of Bowie and what he's done, but I've never really sat down and listened and sort of studied, if you want, his work. But what I want to talk about in particular, apart from his brilliant releasing of a new album days or weeks before this passing, a beautiful creative stroke on his part, the impact I've seen that people have that Bowie obviously has on people. Every single person in my Facebook feed, pretty much everybody, but all the posts anyway, have been Bowie related. Oh, I liked this album, I did this, wasn't he brilliant, that kind of stuff. He's obviously touched a number of people spiritually, however you want to describe it. A true artist, someone that really pushed the boundaries, made it okay to be a little bit gender weird, gender neutral, gender fluid, whatever the phrases are. In high school, I like to wear, or try to incorporate more kilts and skirts into my clothing. And even though I'm not a huge Bowie fan, I obviously owe Bowie a bit of a nod for the fact that was something I tried to do. I was a angry young teen who quite liked Marilyn Manson, and I remember my guitar teacher listening to a bit of Mechanical Animals saying that it was very Bowie, and I thought, I should check out Bowie. Never got around to it. But listening to the greatest hits last night, or a greatest hits compilation type thing, I realised how he's got a lot of stuff that just it does transcend. It is ageless. It is all those superlatives that a Rolling Stone article is going to have when he's on the cover of the next issue. It's amazing. Think about having that kind of impact on that many people. I hope that when I pass, that a handful of people say, I'm glad I knew you. I'm glad you were in my life. You made my life better. It'd be just nice for a handful of people to say that. But imagine having such a worldwide impact that so many people around the world. Obviously, I have no real words for this, but it is amazing that he can have that much impact. That's what I'm seeing. Such an artist. And also, if you haven't seen his work in Extras with Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, then you're missing out. The guy clearly had a brilliant sense of humour as well, and could do deadpan like nobody's business, because that scene was just amazing. I'm really impressed by how he according to his people and his family, he's been battling this for the last 18 months. And they kept it to themselves, they kept it quiet, they didn't want any huge coverage of it. And he managed to release an album that was getting so much positive press and so many, not magazine press or anything, but social media press from people. I saw that people whose opinion I trusted were saying that this album was brilliant and that it was one of his one of his best. As an artist, to release an album a week or so before you turn 69, which is a couple of days before you die, that is a stroke of artistic brilliance, in my opinion. And to release an album that, according to all reports, was brilliant. To think that he had liver cancer, which meant that, as far as I can tell, everything else was fine. So he was mentally and obviously his voice was still there. To release an album as a final swan song, and apparently some of the lyrics and stuff make a lot more sense off that album. I still haven't got around to listening to it, but I definitely will be going through a bit of a Bowie phase, I think, in the next week or so, because I feel like I've missed out on the genius. I don't think I've quite understood, and it seems wrong to ignore it. As I said before, I'm not a huge Bowie fan, but the artistic impact that someone like Bowie can clearly have on so many people it brings up so many questions for me, and I could go on a whole other show about it, but why does this very thin, lanky Englishman manage to have such an impact on so many people? It's not like just his friends and family thought he was great. Everybody thought he was great, and everybody went on and on about it, and almost to the point where you sort of go, oh yeah, whatever, that guy, yeah, he's great. Everyone says he's great. I don't listen to him and stuff. But to have that kind of impact and that kind of impression on everybody is just... That's the thing. Obviously, that's the thing I'm talking about. That's the thing that's stuck in my head, because I haven't really got the reference point for the music personally. So yeah, David Bowie. They're all dying. I was saying to Jamie last night that it's a bit disappointing to be of a generation that can remember all these artists, of finding them, seeking them out and stuff, and now they're all dying. But we never got to see them at their peak. My dad describes seeing Sgt. Pepper at the record store and seeing it was brand new and didn't know what the music was, and the awe of seeing that up behind the counter. And I can imagine, what would it have been like when Ziggy Stardust was released? And everyone was like, oh my God, you've got to listen to this album. See, we didn't get that, but we knew of it, and we didn't have the ignorance. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there. There was not that long ago when Kanye West collaborated with Paul McCartney. There was a humorous bunch of tweets by a bunch of young folks saying, who's this Paul McCartney guy? I love the way Yeezy gets young artists and blows them up. And someone else was like, oh, this Paul McCartney better hold on to his hat because Yeezy just blew him up, and all this kind of stuff. Those people don't know David Bowie. They don't know the Beatles. They don't know the Stones and Led Zeppelin and all these other acts. But I'm from the generation that does, and to have all these people start dying, well, not start dying, but they're passing away because they're coming to the end. It's the golden years of pop music. All those artists are now passing away, and that's a bit of a shame. So I guess we got to listen to that music and embrace that music. Anyway, thank you very much. The Commute number 2 is done and will be up soon, but it's already up because you're watching it. BobbyFreakout@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Thank you very much.